It is my pleasure to introduce Timothy Shriver, Board President and longtime champion of Special Olympics, to share why this is so important for all young people. Thank you.
Okay, so Sabrina, can we skip graduate school? We got a job for you. I mean, you may need more coursework, but I don't think so. I think you're ready to go and be a champion for equity, and I'm very appreciative. Sabrina said to me before she got up here that she was nervous, and you have no need to be nervous, young lady. You are on your way. Thank you very much. And Kanani, I'm like, next time follow me, okay? Because I don't want to follow I don't want to follow that version of I am me. I could try. I am me. I'm standing in front of thee. Okay, all right, yeah, I got it, right? No, I don't either. She does, but I don't. And I want to also thank the mayor. Mayor Lightfoot has done such an extraordinary job in this city. She said she's old school, but I say that's the kind of school we all should go to, right? Her version of school, right? And Jim Clark, your CEO, I just want to say thank you to all of you, Jim, to you, to the Boys Clubs of the Delta, Boys and Girls Clubs of the Delta and of Maine. Sawyer, you know you're out here somewhere, who's been a pioneer of this work up in Maine. I'm here because of the urgency and the life and death conditions we're in this moment. This is a partnership. We call our work an inclusion revolution. And we're in 190 countries around the world. In some places we go, people say, well, don't use the word revolution. It's scary. It's threatening. Some governments don't want to hear about a revolution. And I understand that. But we have a revolution we need. There are many people fighting for many things in the world, and many of them are urgent and needed and important right now. In our view, in the view of those of us who represent people with intellectual and developmental differences, neurodiversity, all the extraordinary range of human gifts, in our view, the most urgent revolution we have is the revolution we need to shift our hearts and minds to overcome the fear of difference and welcome all the gifts of the human family at the table of belonging. And so you all have a reputation over 100 years of being tough as nails, of being willing to go places, as the mayor said, where others don't want to go even today. You have reputations for caring about kids first, for doing what's necessary, for responding in the moment, for not trying to force kids into a bucket or a basket or a role or a track, but giving kids the chance to be who they want to be, to play and live and learn and lead the way they want to lead. We, the people of Special Olympics, are here because we need you. Because we have too many people with intellectual and developmental challenges who are still on the sidelines. Our movement was started in this city, just a little less than a mile from here, Chicago Soldier Field, 1968. In 1968, some of you were alive, right? Come on, you can admit it. Okay, go ahead, you can admit it. You were just in kindergarten. Okay, it's all right. But in 1968, there was a lot going on in this country, right? If you didn't live it, you should have read about it. And if you haven't read about it, read about it. Because it's still going on. It's still going on. What was going on in 1968. For our folks, 200,000 people with intellectual and developmental disabilities were locked up for life in institutions in 1968. It's not part of the story. It's not part of the story. You never heard it, right? How many people heard it before? Almost nobody. It's not your fault. Because those people were invisible and they were so devalued that nobody even cared to see them. And they went to Chicago Soldier Field and there was 100,000 seats in the stadium and they came from those institutions in those dark places and they ran their races and there were about 50 people in that stadium to watch them. And they didn't care. They didn't care, right? Because those young people, Rayford Johnson, the great decathlete, one of the great leaders of our country's history, was on the field that day. Having recovered from his experience being alongside my Uncle Bobby Kennedy when he lost his life in Los Angeles, Rayford Johnson had locked himself away. And he went to the field at Soldier Field right here, And he watched those athletes run. He says, I saw smiles the world has never seen. And then he said, I saw my story and their story. He said, those people were fighting against walls that people couldn't see, but were everywhere around them. A few years ago, we were up on Capitol Hill. We were advocating, and our self-advocates were speaking, and they were going to their congresspersons and senators' offices. Most of the time, they got next to nothing in terms of response. At the end of the day, we had a little reception. I told this story earlier because it just strikes me today as being important. Frank Stevens, at the end of the reception, 29 years old, a man with Down syndrome, as he says, I'm 4'11 and a half. Don't forget the half. Got up at the microphone just informally, and he gave a little talk. He thanked his mom. And he said, I'm here in Washington because I want you to know my life is worth living. Now, I know you have big speakers here. I got to get off the stage, but just let me leave you with this idea that there are human beings amongst us right now who have to say that their life is worth living. Why? Because they've been told their whole life it isn't. How many of you woke up this morning having to prove to someone that your life is worth living? And maybe it's part of everybody's story. But for our folks, it's a daily fight. And every morning, the stigma, the stares, the prejudice, the discrimination, the closed doors, the locked doors, the I'm sorries, nobody here can handle you. I don't think we have the supports. I don't think we have the services. I don't think we have the training. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Every day, they got to get up and walk right into that. Now, you want to know what we need to do to come out of this pandemic? Everybody's got an answer. Everybody wants to say, and I believe it, we can't go back to the old normal. We need a new normal. We want change. And so I leave with you this question. What is the change you want in your life? And not what is the change at work, not what is the change in boys and girls clubs, not what is the change, but what is the change you want? And where will you find a role model that will teach it to you, that will show you how to bring it to life? Mine, just going to go personal, I don't want to go back. I don't want to live in a world where I get my role modeling, I'm sorry to say this, from politicians. Just too much hatred. I don't need any more hatred. Right? So I turned it off. I don't need it from the media. I don't need to be told today who I need to hate again and again and again, and who I need to be scared of. I don't need to be told I have to love my country by hating my fellow Americans. I'm done with it. I'm done with it. Let's be done with that. I mean, that's outrageous. I thank you for your applause, but it's you speaking, right? We all have to speak this truth. So I'm looking at my role model is Frank Stevens, because his heart is open, and he is willing to take a chance again with his gifts, and he's willing to go to the track and run his race, and no matter what time he finishes in, he's willing to stand on the medal stand and put his arms up and say, God damn it, I won. And I'm not going to listen to your definition of who won and who didn't win. And I'm not going to let you tell me I'm not good enough to join your team. I'm not strong enough to play basketball on your team. I'm not fast enough to run on your soccer team. Damn it, I am good enough. And I'm looking for my team, and he's going to find his team at the Boys and Girls Clubs of America, working in partnership with Special Olympics. And if you want to know who's going to follow him and who's going to try to learn from him, what do I want? I want my heart to be more open in this new era. That's what I want. You know, I want to be as gutsy and as strong and as kind as Frank Stevens. And I want to be brave first. Not second or third, first. One of our greatest athletes, some people call her the Michael Jordan of Special Olympics, Loretta Claiborne. She grew up in the projects of York, Pennsylvania, one of 7 or 8 kids. Her mom was told to take her to an institution when she was 4 years old, packed her bag to take her daughter and put her away for life. drove down the streets of rural Pennsylvania to Eastern State School, got there, her mama on state assistance with all those kids back home and no money to feed them, told her little Loretta, you're not staying here, you're coming home with me. Drove her back to York, Pennsylvania, where she grew up and was called every name in the book. Bozo, Four Eyes, retard, imbecile, idiot. Got kicked out of school for what? Fighting. Didn't have any place to go. And she became a runner because that was the only thing she could do to prove herself, the only place she felt free. And she ran and she ran and she ran and she ran 28 marathons. And she came in the top 100 women in the Boston Marathon. And when she got on the stage in New York City at Radio City Music Hall, she got the Arthur Ashe Award from Denzel Washington, who you're going to see soon, right? No offense to Denzel, but she said to me beforehand, who's the guy giving me the award? But that's only because she's so beautiful, she doesn't see all the trappings. And she got up and she held her award in front of all those people on ESPN, and she said, I'm taking this award, I break it into 1,000,000 pieces, I want to give it to every Special Olympics athlete in the world. That's who I want to be like. So we're going to build the teams in clubs around this country, unified sports teams. We're going to teach young people unified leadership. The teachers are going to be the 12 and 14-year-olds who have intellectual and developmental challenges, who have lived on the outside, who are coming back on the inside to break down the walls that separate inside from outside. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for being open to this message, and I can't wait for us to get at it and build the new normal. Thank you very much.